is enough.
Hey guys, welcome back to the No Holds Barred Network with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host as always, the EVP of Giggles, the heartbreak chick, the queen of the indies, Tiffany. And today's special guest is my good friend Derek from Unsanctioned Pro. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. I'm so excited. It's like the road to Tampa going on right now. I feel like it's an exciting time of the year. So I'm so glad to have you on here and we could talk about everything going to Tampa. So looking forward to that. Guys, if this is your first time here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Here on the No Holds Barred Network on the Under the Rope series, we interview everything with independent wrestling, whether it's promoters, referees, wrestlers, behind the scenes, anything independent wrestling. I got you covered. If you guys got questions in the chat, I'm sure Derek will be more than happy to answer any of your questions. We're going to talk about the card and all that good stuff. So yeah. So Derek, you ready for all this this good time?
I am. Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's start it off. So let's learn a little history of Unsanctioned Pro. So for somebody that hasn't watched Unsanctioned Pro, like, can we give a little bit of a backstory about how it started, all that fun stuff?
Okay, so towards the end of like 2017, I was talking with a couple of my friends, and we were just kind of touching base on the fact that one of our hobbies was to get together and hang out and watch indie wrestling shows online because there was nothing that we considered, what we would like in our area in Central Ohio. There was some stuff in Dayton a couple hours away. There's some stuff in Cleveland, some stuff in Cincinnati, but there was nothing in Columbus. So we decided to pull the trigger and try it ourselves. That's how we got our start. So now we're about 3 years later almost. June would be our third anniversary show, somewhere in that ballpark, and we are going to the collective somehow.
Wow.
So,
how did the name Unsanctioned Pro come up?
I don't know, honestly. I knew that our image, so to speak, and the way we wanted to brand it and the type of shows we wanted to put on were kind of that ilk. They were hardcore leaning, not necessarily just a straight up normal wrestling show.
Right.
So the name kind of just put off that vibe.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So how did you personally get in the business?
I don't really have it getting in the business story, funny enough.
No.
No. So I mean, I've got the one person I always credit, rest in peace, Adam Bueller.
Mm-hmm.
He was a buddy of mine. He's a deathmatch wrestler. He was from Indiana. Some people might be familiar with him. He was in King of the Death Matches in 2015. He did some other stuff, and he was passing through Columbus, going to West Virginia for a booking in 2017, and he was just like, "Hey man, you want to jump in the car and go on this trip with me?" So I did. There was a couple other wrestlers in the car, and I just went with them as basically an extra guy, just going to hang out. And I just went to the show. I hung out. I observed, and that's actually where I met Scott Ceriti. Was at a VOW show in West Virginia in 2017, and kind of just noticed things, I guess. So I was standing around, and I had this revelation while I'm standing in a YWCA hall in West Virginia watching this crazy deathmatch show. There's 250 people in this building, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, this is a blast, and we are in a low-ceiling YWCA hall in a random town in West Virginia, and everybody's having a blast. So if they can do that here,
right,
there's no reason that we can't have this at home.
Right.
So that's actually when the ball started rolling mentally. Could we maybe do it? But as far as a formal introduction, I'm probably what everybody hates to hear. I'm a fan who just decided I was going to give it a shot, and it worked out.
Hey, I appreciate it. Even just me being a fan, and now I get to podcast and I get to chat with you guys and talk about everything that I love about wrestling in general. So it's great. So what did you grow up watching? Because it's just crazy. Even me, sitting here like growing up just watching WWF back then, and then
Right.
only finding out about independent wrestling like maybe like 7 years ago.
Okay.
So I'd love to hear like, with you.
So when I was like 12, maybe 13, this had to have been like 99 or so. My official like getting into wrestling was because of renting tapes from Blockbuster Video. It was a Attitude Era WWF show called Capital Carnage, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a UK pay-per-view event, and randomly just picked it up and rented it, and I liked it, and I kept going back and renting different things because I didn't have cable or anything growing up. And then eventually, SmackDown was on TV, and I found it. And then I met friends in middle school who were also wrestling fans who taped Raw and Nitro and ordered pay-per-views. So I just kind of hot shot it in right at the like end of the Attitude Era, right at the peak when the most people were into it. And then from there, I just kind of stayed into wrestling.
Wow.
Yeah. As far as the indies go, 2005, I'd say.
Right.
I had a friend make a suggestion that I get this specific Ring of Honor DVD, which was called Manhattan Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got like, was it Loki and Homicide versus Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal?
Oh, yes.
And a bunch of other crazy matches on it. But that's what kind of got me head first, like looking into everything that I could on the indies.
It's crazy how the indies have like blown up, and like me personally, like my heart is so into the indies, and I get excited, like of course, like you want people to sign and succeed. I mean, I get a little sad,
Right.
I always say, because I'm like, damn it, I can't see them in the indies anymore, because you have that personal experience and like that's personal touch with them. Like it's very different than mainstream. And then people keep talking about like the indies are dead, or the indies are not dead. Like if anything, the indies are insanely hot right now, and sometimes I feel like we get better matches sometimes in the indies than what we'll see on mainstream. So it's great. It's great. So let's talk about Tampa. Obviously, we're going through like pandemic right now, and like I want to talk about you right now. Like, what protocols do you have in play for this? Like, what's going on with that? Because it's very important to a lot of people out there. I'm sure it's just as important to you. So I know I saw your tweet. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, straight up, I wouldn't be there if I didn't trust them to do things responsibly.
Right.
I know that last year they'd put out a message afterwards and mentioned that there had been some people that had attended the Indianapolis one, and that there was, some positive tests coming out of it. But, I wasn't involved in that show. I don't know everything that went into it. It was an indoor venue. With this, I can say that my main concern was, how are things being handled? So the capacity of the venue is normally 2,000. We're only going to sell 500 tickets. It's 25% capacity. It's an outdoor venue. Mm-hmm. There's going to be temperature checks, social distancing, masks are required. They're doing everything possible to make sure that everybody has the most fun in the safest way possible at the Collective.
Right. Man, I wish I was coming down for this. It's funny. Like everybody keeps saying, whether it's wrestlers or whether it's promoters, like I wish you were coming. And I was like, I just don't feel, me personally, like I'm not fully vaccinated. I'm half vaccinated, so like I'm just waiting for that last shot. And I'm like, if I was fully vaccinated, I would feel a little safer. I would get on a plane. I would come down. This is like a dream for me to go to like something collective wise and just being involved in the independent scene. But these play very important roles for me as a fan that goes to shows, is like to make sure, especially now, because I've gone to shows that there were none being played, and like people were just banging into each other, and I was getting anxiety, and I'm like, so to me, this is very important, and I'm glad that you have this going on. So
and I mean, myself personally, I've attended several shows that they ran over the last year outdoors. So I've been there before, and I've seen the protocols that they put in place, and I've got full faith in it. And also what you were touching on, the fact that you'd love to be there and you're going to miss it. That's the beauty of technology right now, is that you're able to stream everything. So, not only is there all the shows going on at the Collective, there's other stuff going on in Tampa. There's other stuff going on multiple places in Tampa, because there's a ton of wrestling going on that weekend, not to mention other shows around the country. So the fact that we're able to stay home and still watch these things during the pandemic is awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been a godsend, and thanks everybody who's been played part of this, that have given us that, even if we couldn't go to shows, that we could still watch it even if there's no fans. I know it's been hard, and I have ex wrestlers that have come on this podcast. I'm like, is it weird that you don't have the fans? And then they had talked about some ones that have been taped, that if there were no fans, that the wrestlers that were working the shows, they were the fans, so they can play off that a little bit. So like, I can't thank all you guys like out there for everything that you guys done for us to entertain us. So, but even thank you like for everything that you do for us as well. So,
hey, thanks, I appreciate it. That's why we do it.
Yeah. All right. So, what's been some of your favorite matches so far that if someone hasn't seen your brand, what should they go and watch?
Oh boy. Well, that's a loaded question. This will sound incredibly cocky, so please forgive me. But all of the shows. Mm-hmm. So we've been around since the middle of 2018, but we've got 10 shows.
Right.
We grew the company small, so our back catalog's not incredibly huge. Off the top of my head, UP2 Myron Reed versus Kobe Durst. Mm-hmm. That's a crazy match. The very first show was main evented by a building block death match, Lego death match, whatever you want to call it, with Eric Ryan and Marcus Crane. Yeah. That's super crazy as well. As far as more recent matches that people should probably look at, Akira versus Alex Colon from Hardcore Cup 2021 was nuts. That was an opening round match that probably could have been the finals because of the way that went. What else? Oh, UP7, the Rejects versus Violence is Forever.
Oh, yes. So good.
Yeah. Trying to think. There's gotta be at least one more I could throw at you.
The good thing is that a lot of the names that you're bringing up have been interviewed on Under the Ropes. I just did have the Rejects on this past week. So that was a crazy stream of, Kira's great, Alex Colon. Like, I love all these names.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and our roster is nuts. The people that we've had come through at different points and the people that have been mainstays on the roster, we've got quite the interesting lineup. So I urge anybody to just go on IWTV and take a look at the match cards, because you'll probably find some people that you like.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you guys haven't, like, just go check it out, because this is how, like, I find wrestlers, is that I started by following one wrestler, that Anthony Gangone was my favorite independent wrestler, and I followed him to support him at other promotions, and I didn't even know other promotions existed. And what wound up happening is I wind up finding other wrestlers that I fell in love with. So even like this, if you've never seen Unsanctioned Pro, go check it out on the IWTV app. You might know some of the wrestlers, and you might not even know them, but you might find something that you actually like. So that's what I love about independent wrestling, is if there's something you don't like, I'm sure you'll find something else that you will like. So
oh yeah,
that's the nice thing about it. All right, so let's break down the card. So we have 7 matches announced. So I'm gonna let you do your thing. Let's talk about all these matches, and like we'll go from there.
Okay, sure.
So I have 2 layouts there. So I have all 7 matches. So what do you want to talk about first? Because like this card is just insane to me.
I'll tell you what. Let's start with the scramble.
Okay, let's talk with the scramble. So I'm excited. It's funny. There's names in here that I don't know. There's names I do know. Billy is my girl. I had her on the stream. I love her. So I'm so excited. She's making moves. She's going all over the place. But who doesn't love a good scramble match? Definitely one of my faves.
Yeah, for sure. So this match, it's going to be crazy. One of the things that I've always liked to do, and we always try to do it, it doesn't necessarily happen on every card, is open with a scramble. Just because it's always a high energy match, and that's the kind of thing we want to go with. And with this one, it's a lot of younger talent. Outside of Rob Killjoy from the Ugly Ducklings. So like you mentioned, you've got Billy Starks, Rob Killjoy from the Ugly Ducklings, Sage Phillips, who, if you're not familiar, is Cole Radrick's tag team partner. They're known as Hysteria. And then also the Awesome Odyssey. And they are 2 kids, close friends of Myron Reed. They trained out of Dayton, where Myron was training for some time. And they are super talented. They're hometown kids. They're from Columbus area. And really stoked for them to get an opportunity in front of a bigger audience.
Right.
Also, we've got Freddie Hudson. He's a former Paradigm Pro champion. And Robert Martyr, who is a Florida kid. He's like 20 years old, but somehow he's already like a 6-year veteran. The kid's been training to wrestle since he was allowed to, basically.
Wow.
So he's one of those young prodigy types that we're looking to see kind of what he can bring to the table too, because he's popped up a few other places lately and he's been pretty impressive.
So good. So good. I love the scrambler. Like, you're right, it does. It gives that high energy, like all the crazy spots that can happen. You don't know, like, especially if I'm at a show that like people get thrown and you're like, oh hi, like pretty much.
Yeah.
So, oh
For
man,
sure.
this is gonna be a fun match. So I'm looking forward to that. So, where you want to go next?
From the scramble, I don't know. Let's see. Let's talk about somebody that people might not be familiar with that
Okay.
they need to be familiar with. Let's go with Jordan Oliver versus Alexis Montez.
Oh my god. So I'm very familiar with Jordan Oliver.
Okay.
Montez, I'm not. But Jordan Oliver just grew like crazy on me. And he's just improved so much within the last year and just the moves that he's making. So yeah, I'm sure this is going to be a crazy match. I mean, I have no doubt with any of it that it won't be.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Like you said, Jordan's been doing a lot lately. He's been making strides. He's a student of the game. He's always trying to improve himself and do things better. And as far as Lexus goes, he's an Ohio guy.
Mm-hmm.
He is kind of under the radar. He's been doing it for a while. He's talented. He's attended several New Japan dojo training camps out in LA. And honestly, in my opinion, I think this is going to be the match that gets a lot more people talking about him, or at least that's my hope. Right. So I said this somewhere else. I'll say it here, and I don't care if I sound like a broken record to anybody listening to multiple interviews. They're going to put on a caliber of match that if you just plucked it up and you took them and you stuck them in the New Japan Super Juniors tournament, that they could hang.
Oh,
so they're both incredibly talented.
Oh man.
So
cool. Very good. So since you brought up Reed, actually, I'm really excited about this match. Like, this is probably like the one that I'm excited for the most is Reed and Trey Lamar. Oh my God. Talk about like two amazing guys in the ring. Trey Lamar has been making moves. Obviously, like, Reed's a beast. And Reed makes little beasts. So, like, yeah, like, Reed and Jordan has some banger of matches as well. So, but Trey Lamar's making moves. Just won a championship belt, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, Trey recently won the OWA Ohio State Championship, which is the other local Columbus promotion, funny enough. And we've got a good relationship with those guys. But, yeah, this match is interesting. It's a tiebreaker because these two have been basically attached at the hip since our third show in January of 2019. There was a lot of comparisons even leading up to that point, and they had wrestled once before elsewhere. And it's one of those things where they got compared to each other a bunch, and then they wrestled, and then neither one of them could just be content with the fact and move on.
Right.
So now we're going to do it again. We're going to do it at the biggest stage that the company's ever had, and at the biggest point in both of these guys' careers, because they've grown exponentially since the beginning of 2019.
Man. So good. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. This one's me personally, this is going to be my match of the night for me, I feel like. So, but yeah, no, it's good. So looking forward to that. All right. What's our next one? Which one you want to go to?
Well, we were just talking about Trey Lamar. Let's talk about his 40 Acres tag team partner, PB Smooth.
Okay, let's do that. All right. So, oh man. So Crew, I'm familiar with. Smooth, I'm sure I have seen. I know the name. Yeah, like.
Yeah, so PB Smooth is a AIW trainee, and I believe his initial training was started by Johnny Gargano. He's been around for a while. He's been a staple at AIW. He's held gold up there tag gold, I believe with Hornswoggle. He's held their, I don't remember if it was the Absolute or the Intense title, one or the other. And then you said you were familiar with Lord Crew.
Yes.
He's a guy that we've been working with for a while as well. And these guys actually had another singles match at our first anniversary show in 2019. That's when PB debuted, and he picked up a W against Lord Crew, who at that point was a newcomer. And now it's 2 years later to the month, and both of them are incredibly different. So PB is always in the gym, always training, always studying, always evolving his game. And Crew, on the other hand, he's gone the more violent route in recent times. So with him showing up and doing death matches at No Peace Underground and at ICW No Holds Barred and even IWA Mid-South now, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes with them at the points that they're at right now in 2021 versus their first match.
Ooh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. So let's go to Everett Cross, because I'm very familiar with him. That's definitely love him over here in New York, New Jersey, over here bound, and Aaron Williams. So I was like, oh, okay, so I see this going on over here.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting match. So, Aaron is a Midwest vet, incredibly underrated, slept on, and he basically got tired of waiting and attacked Everett Cross last January at our last local Columbus show before everything got shut down. Made his point, I guess, because Cross isn't backing down from the challenge. Even a year later, he still wants the match. So looking forward to seeing how this one goes, because it's two incredibly talented, under the radar talents, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, Everett Cross is great. I just saw him. Where did I see him recently? I think Wrestle Pro Magic, I think, was the last. Oh no, what am I talking about? I saw him. When did I just see him at IWA in New Jersey? I think I just saw him over there. So it's kind of hard to keep up with everything. I try. It's hard. Right. It's impossible to keep up with everybody. What's going on here?
For sure.
So all right. So let's talk Casanova Valentine. You guys know, if you've watched the No Holds Barred network as well, you've seen him under the Rope series. We've chatted with him and the Hoodfoot. So this, I feel like, it's going to be a hoss fight. Oof, let's go.
Yes. Yeah, the promos between these two on Twitter, if you haven't seen them yet, and actually, I'll go ahead and just put this out here. Tomorrow, I'm dropping another hype video for this match because. Oh man, I'm so excited. You've got Cass on Twitter making comparisons to Necro Samoa Joe already. So I'm slightly concerned, but also incredibly excited.
Oh man. It's going to be great. I can't wait. So, and then let's talk about the last match here. Cole Radrick and then Jake something. Oh my God.
Yes.
This is a serious match right here. Oh my God. Shout out to my friend Carl, because I know he's loving this match right now. I just know it.
Oh yeah.
So, oof. My God.
Yeah. It's going to be an exciting match too. It's one of those irresistible force meets a movable object type situations, I think, because Cole's been, on a hot streak, and he's been doing his thing, and he's been gaining more and more momentum, but Jake's literally a fucking brick wall at this point. I hate to make the comparison about Dale Earnhardt, rest in peace, but Cole better be careful wearing those Dale Earnhardt jackets when he's about to run into a fucking wall.
Oh man, this is gonna be great. Yeah,
rough.
This is a stacked card. Which one do you think, in your opinion, is gonna steal the night?
Ooh, if I had to put my money on one of these matches to steal the show, I think probably going to be Casanova and Hoodfoot.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I say that is because I've been talking to both of these guys, and I just really think that the internet's not ready.
Oh, yeah. That's what I said. It's you look at these two guys, and I'm like, okay, me personally, I thought, hoss fight, this is going to be crazy. I've seen Casanova a bunch of times everywhere. He's yeah. So this is you might be right. I mean, my heart's still gonna be with Dre Lamar, and like, cause I just love him. So and Reed, like, it's just, oh man, I can't. So I'm really hyped. So I'm looking forward to it. And I had even told Derek off. I was like, this card is stacked. Like, so if you guys aren't gonna watch it, please watch it. Like, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, and definitely another thing I'm going to point out too is just tune in, because you don't know what might happen, because I'm a fan of surprises.
That was my next question. So like, you must have like saw my question. Good. I'm glad. I was gonna ask that. Are we gonna get any surprise? I'm not expecting you to drop anything, but should we? I
don't have anything I can.
Okay, but should we? We should expect surprises, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's pro wrestling, right?
Right.
Anything could happen. Realistically, and this isn't even like trying to be clever or convince anybody to buy a pay-per-view.
Right.
There's a lot going on in the world right now. Some people might drop off the show. Some stuff might change. We don't know what's going to happen. So we just got to tune in and show up in Tampa if you're in the area or planning to be down there, and see what happens.
Awesome. So, and like, in your mind, like, how, like, in your thought process, I always like to ask this, like, how do you come together with putting these matches together? Like, what is the thought process with it?
Oh man, it's weird. I've always, when I put shows together, I want them to be kind of like a buffet, a smorgasbord, where you can kind of get a little bit of everything. So, you want to have your really good athletic matches. You want to have your technical matches. You want to have your hard-hitting matches. As far as this specific card, I just wanted to make sure that I was putting the people that got us here on. I wasn't just going to go to Tampa and be like, all right, guys, it's Florida, the pro wrestling capital of the world. Who used to be on TV and lives in 5 miles? Right. Like, no. All right, how am I going to get all these guys from the Midwest to Tampa?
Right.
So, yeah, with this card, it's kind of a best of, I guess. It's the best of the best as far as our roster, a couple of new faces, and just trying to organize everything in a way that everybody who's checking us out, who's never heard of us, because it's going to be a lot of people compared to our normal viewership levels, they're going to be kind of confused as to why they probably hadn't heard about us yet and how we've existed since 2018.
Right. But it's a good thing, and this is why we do podcasts, and this is why I like to ask the questions. So if you guys don't know, that's why we're getting all the questions out here, so we can learn a little bit more about it. So, which is great.
Yeah.
So, but since you brought that up, let's talk a little bit. What I love that you're doing, right, is that you are taking donations in order to help the travel and the lodging. And I know it's a big expense. I've even talked about it with other promoters, and so I know that's hard. So can we go into a little bit about that? And I do have the link down below for the donations for you guys as well, if you want to help donate.
Yeah, I mean, just flat out, just how I am as a promoter and the way I handle my business. I want everybody who's coming down there to not eat it on the travel bill, because I think it's extremely unfair to, I don't know, just as a random example, get a bunch of people together in one car and pay them the bare minimum and not even try to help them with gas money.
Right.
Because it's pro wrestling, and there are people who will do that if they can get away with it. So, there's some people traveling down in carloads. There's some people who are going to be flying in, and there's a lot of expenses that went with it. So we were just basically saying, hey, if you want to help us out, help us out. I'm not going to require it. I'm not even really pushing it. We tweeted it out a couple of times, and it's just one of those things where it's like, if you help us out, I'll go as far as telling you where your money went, because we've got receipts for everything, and everybody needs places to stay.
Right.
Everybody needs to be able to get there. And I don't know, it means a lot that we're even at the point that we can ask for donations, that people listen. So, like I example, the other day, fuck it, I'll just throw his name out there. Guy's name's TJ. He hit me up and he sent me some money because, everybody got their stimulus or whatever.
Right.
And I just messaged him and I was like, hey man, just so you know, Wrestler A and Wrestler B have a place to stay in Tampa because of you. So just think about that. Like, that's where your money went. It's not just going into the promoter's pocket so that the promoter can be like, Cool. Thanks for helping the show.
Yeah. No, that's good though. I've seen that. Personally. Like, I've walked into those situations where, you spend money and then it doesn't go where it's supposed to go to. And it's a
Right.
little aggravating. Especially me as like a fan, and it's like, you're donating the money, you're hoping that the money goes towards that, because you really are, because I do know, and again, like I said, like me being a podcaster, being able to be close with a lot of people, like I've had those conversations with wrestlers or promoters, and like knowing that the money actually goes to it. So and like I said, I've talked to that where they've been in the situation where the money didn't go to them at all, or whatever the scenario was. So but no, that's nice, and I see that too with a lot of people, that they actually show like, okay, well, this money goes here or whatever. And I'm sure like the fans, like with you just saying that like you messaged that person and TJ, and then you told them, okay, this one and this one is now be able to like lodge here. So that's nice, and really appreciate it.
Because I mean, just my thought process, and as I touched on earlier, being a fan who got into this, and I'm now in this position, and all the stuff that you see on social media about, is the money actually being used for things? I mean, we ran sponsors for our Hardcore Cup tapings. It was entirely paid for by sponsors and merchandise sales. I have, where's it at? Right here. We have Margarita Lime Soap for sale.
Oh,
okay?
Cool.
Because we wanted to do all kinds of different merch to support the tapings, so that I could fairly pay all of the wrestlers. Some of these guys wrestled 3 times in one night on the tapings. And the most important thing is that they get taken care of. So,
of course. Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things where you got to get creative, I guess, because we can't have the full crowds, right?
Right. No, definitely. No, it's crazy. So, but yeah, I've heard some stories, but so that's nice to like really. I wanted to touch base with that.
100%.
Let's go to a little fan tweet here. So, our friend Good Cop Bad Cop, he loves to like mess with everybody that comes on this podcast. So he says, literally impossible without a little bit of artistic license. So, with Derek being an anagram of Creed, what is your favorite film in the Rocky franchise?
All right. I hope he's watching. You ready for this? Never watched one.
Oh!
Yes. I've never seen a Rocky movie. I'm familiar.
Yeah.
Which one has Hulk Hogan in it? Well, no. fuck Hulk Hogan. Yeah, no. I don't have a favorite Rocky movie.
That's great. I love it. There you go. Good cop, bad cop. I love it. Okay, so let's. I love it. I love that the questions that comes up. He really stumps everybody. It's some good stuff. So hey, we gotta have some fun around here, right? With all the negative out there, we're gonna have some fun. So I told you we were gonna talk about this because you put out that tweet about Sprite sponsoring your show, and you said why Sprite fears sponsoring you. So the question is, why do they fear you?
I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, no exaggeration. Probably independently, at least 10 different fans said something to me and said, I thought the hashtag said fueled by Sprite. Like, nah, man, Spite. Like, was there like a fueled by Sprite campaign at some point? Maybe. Am I not recalling that? But I tweeted at them, and I keep tweeting at them. Not obsessively, because I'm not trying to look like a crazy person.
Right.
But every once in a while, I'm just like, hey, Sprite, just a reminder, you got 9 days to deliver a truckload of cans to the Cuban Club in Tampa. Make it happen. Chop, chop.
That would be cool, though. Like, imagine, like, that actually, like, happened. Like, you don't hear anything, and then this magic, beautiful truck shows up with all the Sprite cans. Like,
I'm just saying, if I walk into the Cuban Club and there's a display of a fucking mountain of towers of cans of Sprite, my work is done here.
Well, maybe they'll send you a basket or something like that, or a little, like, bucket or something. Come on, Sprite. Do the right thing.
Go on Twitter, at Sprite, and tell them to sponsor at Unsanctioned Pro, hashtag fueled by Spite. Tell them that they have 6 days as of Sunday evening. They can get this. They can get it done. It can happen. They can do it.
Let's do it, guys. Start the hashtag.
Not hard. Sprite, stop ducking me. Stop ducking me. I need those blue and green cans in my life.
Do it. Do it now.
As I drink water.
There you go. See, now that you killed it all. Now you're done.
I wish I had like an ice cold can of Sprite so that when you brought it up, I could have just pulled it out and cracked it open.
All right, so you know what? We'll do some fancy editing or something like that. Like,
can we do another one on like Wednesday or something?
That's great. I love it. Okay, so going forward, like if you could book an independent wrestler that maybe is like hot or maybe someone that's not known, like maybe in the future, is there someone like you have your eye on that you would love to come on over?
That's kind of two different questions, right? Like if I could book anybody, no matter how hot they are on the scene, and availability and money and whatnot.
Right.
As far as indie talent taking indie bookings, who would I want? I'll call this one because I'm going to try and make it happen later this year. I want to have Trey Miguel back.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh.
I would love to have Trey Miguel back in our ring. As far as upcoming talents, oof, that one's kind of hard, right? Because it's like, do you want to show your hand? Do I have any like crazy ones in my back pocket? Not really.
There's a lot of good people out there. A lot.
I'm trying to think of somebody that's just like young and way too far for us to take a risk on right now, because you know how that goes.
Yeah.
I've been really impressed with a bunch of these guys that I'm seeing out of Texas lately. Dante Leon. I don't know if you've seen that kid. He had a clip that went viral probably a month ago.
Okay.
Where he did a shooting star into a cutter.
Wow.
And it went viral, and now he's wrestling Myron on the Jimmy Lloyd show on the Collective.
Okay, probably like see it. I'm like probably like picture like again. It's so hard, guys. Like for me to like to keep tabs on. I try. It's impossible to keep tabs on like everybody.
I'm not sure what other shows he's on, but that Dante Leon kid, he does some crazy shit in the ring. And then another person, I wouldn't say they're like unknown or anything because they work for GCW. But I've wanted to get Treehouse Lee up for one of our shows for a while also.
Yes.
That guy's style in the ring is nuts.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So good. Oh my god. Even like I've been loving the little H2O guys going on now. Like they're so young and oh my god. Like it's just
that's it. That you know what? That'll be my like my super young wrestler pick. There's a student out of H2O that I was super impressed with. Reed Walker, I believe is his name. I saw a match with him in Lucky 13 probably within the last 2 months, and it was apparently like his 10th wrestling match or some crazy shit like that.
Oh my god.
And I was like, okay, give this kid 2 years and let's see what's up.
He just won the Wrestle Cup 2 last night. So, yeah.
I didn't get to tune in for it because I have so much going on. I've been meaning to watch it back.
Yeah.
So, thanks for the spoiler, Tiffany.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're cool. You're perfectly fine. That's on me. I should have been aware.
Yeah. See? No, I just schooled you. Nah, they're really good. They're like, I can't, like, I can only imagine the next couple of years of, like, where they're going to be in the next couple of years. So,
they're doing good things out of H2O.
Yeah, they really are. Is there a type of match that you wouldn't book at your promotion?
Yeah, never anything with razor wire, razor blades, scissors, pigeon spikes. I'm naming basically all the really gnarly deathmatch stuff, and we're not even a deathmatch company.
Right.
I consider us a hardcore company. Most of our cards lean towards like hardcore stuff, and every once in a while you'll see things like barbed wire. But yeah, just as far as like the razor blades and stuff like that, the really sharp, crazy deathmatch stuff. I'm not a big proponent of it in my ring just because my anxiety would be through the fucking roof.
Yeah, it's scary. I'm like, ooh, I'm scared with some of these guys. I don't know how they do it. Never mind the wrestlers actually doing it. And then I always worry. I tell them I'm going to bring a med kit because they make me nervous. So
yeah, some of them travel with their own med kit.
Oh my god, yeah, I know. Like they told me. But so, is there also like a type of match that you haven't booked that you would like to book at your promotion?
Yeah, I want. Oh man. I'm going to put this out there, and if somebody steals it, I've got public video footage that I said it out loud. I want to hold a wrestling event on top of a parking garage.
Okay.
and do a Royal Rumble.
Ooh, okay.
Not necessarily a Royal Rumble, but that
yeah,
style of match or a
right.
gauntlet of some type. And I've got this whole concept in my head to call it Rooftop Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, I'm obsessed with it. So that's just one thing I want to make happen.
Oh damn. Okay, so like when you plan to do that, let me know so I could try to like come out to come see that because that's just like totally special. It seems like, and I could imagine like the view of what it would look like just to take
That's
the photograph. See, that's my instant thought is like the photography and like what it would look like with like the background going on. Like that would look really cool.
The reason that came about is when the pandemic started. I'm like, I wanted to run shows, but I made a decision that I wasn't going to run anywhere unless it was outdoors.
Right.
And when I was looking at different stuff, it was like everything's booked up, everything's already got plans, and I'm like, where can I put a wrestling ring? And then I remembered this specific parking garage in downtown Columbus, and it's got all these neon lights on it, and it just looks crazy. And I thought about kind of what you said, like the view, it would look insane because parking garages, even not a big one, is more than enough space to put a wrestling ring and like 200 people spaced out.
Right.
So
yeah, just the thought of it.
The views alone.
Yeah.
The views alone.
Some of these photographers out there, like shout out to you guys because you guys like bust your ass and like the photos that I love seeing that, like just scrolling through like Twitter or Facebook or whatever it is, or even like Instagram, and just to see like the moments that are captured are just great. So shout out to you guys again. Has there been like a match that you had planned to book or that just didn't happen maybe because somebody got signed?
Signed, no. Injured, yes. We had a match scheduled for our third show. It was going to be Myron Reed versus Trey Lamar versus Marco Stunt.
Oh my God.
And he got injured. And so he had to take some time off, and then he came back, and then he was immediately on AEW. So,
wow.
I guess you could kind of call that kind of by a signing.
Yeah.
But the initial reason for him missing was the injury.
Right. Well, the good thing too, even as well with AEW, is that they do let like some of their talent work the indies still, which is kind of nice too. So,
yeah.
Which is really nice because I've seen even like GCW or wherever like some people have showed up, so it's great. So this is a good question that I like to ask because sometimes we do have wrestlers that come in like wanting to know if you would book them or maybe somebody that's training or whatever. Like, is there like a piece of advice that you would give them that if he's trying to put himself out there, like what are you looking for in order to book them for your promotion?
Oof, that's kind of hard. I might be the wrong guy to ask that last part of the question because I'm so fucking picky. Like, I mean, as far as a young wrestler, what I would say is just wrestle as much as you can. Be smart, wrestle as many matches as you can, because what it's going to come down to is the level of talent that you have. Because once you get to a certain point, promoters aren't really going to book you unless you do something that they think is going to get people's attention. Whether that's because you got over because of matches that you were having, or you have a good social media presence, or whatever it is, you need to be able to bring something to the table. Right. Also, put in the work. And what I mean by that is social media is great and it makes it easy for anybody to reach out and network and try to do these things. You can send the same copy and paste message to 500 promoters and you're not going to get a response. You can show up physically to 4 shows and probably get booked at one of them. So show up, help with a ring, talk to people in person, message them and offer to come help. Don't just hit them up and send them the same message that you send everybody and think that that's how you're going to get your foot in the door.
Right. It's funny. I've noticed that a lot of times, like when I go to shows, like I'll see just wrestlers like hanging out, and like you said, like I've seen them helping, whether they're setting up chairs or helping putting together the ring or taking a part of the ring, and like they're like, you know, and I've talked to people like that they're like, oh, you know, like and or like the promotion as well, and they're like, you know, maybe I'll get booked, you know, but I like to just hang out. So I do see that a lot of wrestlers that aren't even working there, but they're just hanging out, enjoying the show, watching the show, or like helping, and you know, hopefully they get booked. So, and I've seen that. I've seen that
because putting in the actual face-to-face work and showing up means more than like I said, a copy and paste message. And let me stress that we know when it's a copy and paste message.
Yeah. Hello.
We can tell, guys.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I see it too. Even with like the podcast world,
I've seen podcasters with more professional resumes than dudes that are on TV.
Oh, see, guys,
come on, guys,
gotta be smart. You have to put in the work, right? Put in the work and do your part, and like so. But I love it. I love seeing all sorts of new people and like growing into, you know, new promotions as well. So it's a good thing. So I have one last question. If you guys have any other questions, like in the chat, just drop it. So my last question for anybody that's not aware, where can they watch it? Are there still tickets available? Like all that fun stuff.
Okay, yeah. So as far as the show itself, it's going to be Fueled by Spite, Saturday, April 10th. That's available on Fight TV. You can get just the individual Fueled by Spite event. I think it's $12.99 on Fight. Also, there is a collective bundle where for one price you get access to 12 shows that are going to be going down from that one location across a couple of days later this week. And then you can also check out our back catalog and our past events on Independent Wrestling TV. You can use promo code Unsanctioned. And then when you subscribe and you stay a subscriber every month, and that will actually help us directly and show your support to the promotion by using our promo code.
Awesome. Are there still tickets available to like go to the show? Yeah.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So if you go to our website, unsanctionedpro.com, or if you don't want to spell that, go to 614wrestling.com. That's the Columbus area code. And it's got links for our web store where you can get our merch and individual event tickets if you just want to come to our event. There's also going to be links on the main page on the website for the collective ticket packages where you can attend every show for one price. Front row sold out, but I believe there's still second row and GA packages available. There's also a link for a discount hotel, which I believe should be good, at least for the next couple of days, to where you can get a hotel for like $110 a night, 3 miles from the venue in Tampa. And all of that's going to be located on the website, unsanctionedpro.com.
Awesome. Those links are in the description below as well. So guys, go definitely check that out. Also, I forgot to ask, you know, if anybody wondering out there, like how often do you run shows? Like if we watch them, you know, from home?
Yeah, so we typically have been running every couple of months. With the pandemic, it got real crazy. So we had a show in January 2020, and then we had a show in September of 2020 in Indiana. Then we had our Hardcore Cup at the beginning of 2021, which was a closed set taping. So our future plans are kind of up in the air right now. I've definitely got some stuff in the works because we want to get back to our home scene here in Central Ohio. But also, we've got some stuff in the works. I've mentioned it other places, so I'm not necessarily letting the cat out of the bag. But we're working on some things to come to the East Coast. Maybe you'll see us in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Well, definitely, like, when you do plan that, like, message me before so I can, like, book it into the side into, like, my calendar day because I always book in advance. So definitely let me know, like, before because I would love to definitely come and meet you in person, and I'd love to come see your shows. And, like, I just love, again, like I said, like, love going and experience that, like, to a promotion that I've never been to before. So I definitely, like, looking forward to that. So get ready because, like, I'm very loud. I bring streamers. I come with a gang and, like, you know, get ready.
You would fit right in with our fans, honestly. Like, you know, not to make light of cults, but I think I started a little cult here in Columbus a couple of years ago, but we've got some pretty cool cult members. So I think you'd fit in pretty well if you're loud. And do you like to drink? You like to party at wrestling shows?
Oh yeah, man. Like anything. Like you see, people like when I come to the shows. I feel like certain promotions really aren't ready for me. So our friend over at Invictus, which is a new promotion over in New Jersey, I had him on a couple of weeks ago, and I asked them, and then people were making fun of me in the chat. They're like, Tiffany loud? No. So I'm the one that like I will heckle your talent because I love doing that. So like I will mess with the heels.
Listen, my very first show, my crowd started heckling a wrestler for the size of his nipples. And every time I've booked this man, he gets baby nips chants. You have never seen a grown man, like, dude's a fucking pro. He eats it up when he's like wrestling, you know. It's like, yeah, I'm the bad guy. Chant about my nipples, but woo, dude. The first time they started chanting baby nips, and there was like 170 people in a moose lodge just going, baby nips, baby nips. You could just see the dude in his face. He's going, are my nipples that small? What's wrong? It's fucking amazing. Our crowd's savage.
Oh man, so you're gonna love me, especially like since you brought up like the rejects, like was it John Wayne Murdoch? He threw Akira into me because I was taking footage. This is like the best video that like I have it. I was talking about it with them the other day, and I was like, it was like the best moment for me. There, he was like, he goes, "You want to take pictures of Akira? Okay," and he just threw Akira into me, or I'll make fun of the managers, like.
I have so many reject stories because they've been on a lot of our shows, and I've seen the guy who ran the Moose Lodge try to fight Reed Bentley on the first show and the second show. First show because he dropped the F-bomb, second show because they broke a beer bottle during their match. And I'm not exaggerating. I watched this guy who was probably in his 70s storm the ring in the middle of a match between the Rejects and the Hooligans. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yo, I am.
And he's screaming at them about breaking. You don't break beer bottles in my bar. And I'm just like, there's 200 people in the crowd looking at him like, dude, you don't want to fucking square up with Reed Bentley. You better fucking relax. Like, it's cool though. Reed's a pro. He apologized. He didn't cuss. You know, it's all good. Everything works out fine. But oof. We definitely had some tense moments because of our crowd and because of the performers.
Oh no. I'm gonna clip that. We're gonna tag Reed. Like.
Oh no. Yo.
Leave
this in.
Okay.
Reed, it's cool, bro. I completely understand if you would have punched him. I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding. I'm not gonna let anybody punch a fucking old man.
Yeah, there's some people that I've gone to shows where people get like really out of hand and it's like bad, but then there's the fun, like, you know, that you'll play with me. I'm the fun one. I don't need a drink to go bust everybody's chops and shit. I'm just gonna do it regardless. But then I've seen those too where they get like really mad and like they get thrown out and it's like, you know, why can't we just have fun? Like, that's me. Like, I just want to go. I want to have a good time. I want to enjoy some wrestling. I want to have some laughs. Like, it's fun. I want to, I'll sit there and I'll try, especially if it's someone that I'm very cool with. Like, I try to break them during the match. So, like, I've had those moments too. Shout out to Eric Corvus because I busted his chops so many times that, like, I've said stuff and I saw him crack a smile in the ring. So I've had those moments. Those are the best moments. That's what like, and even like John and Reed, they said those are the things that they like getting involved in the crowd and interacting with the crowd. They like to
grab members of the audience and use them as weapons. They like to use each other as weapons. We've seen them throw each other through doors after the match is already fucking over with. Yeah,
those are the best
Rejects
moments.
are all about a good time.
Yeah, no, that's great. And that's what I love so much about independent wrestling is like how personal it gets and intimate that it gets. And you can't have that experience if you're going to like WWE or AEW. It's very different with independent. And this is why all the queen of the indies herself, that's why I say that. That's all I want with you guys. If you haven't, like, get involved. And like, if you don't live like New York, New Jersey, Ohio, wherever, find your local promotion, go support the wrestlers. I promise like it'll be a good time because I haven't really been disappointed and I found great stuff. So, and now I have you guys, which is great. And I'm so excited. Like, good luck this week. I hope everything runs smoothly. Like, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for all the guys. I hope no med kits are needed. All that good stuff.
Sure. Fingers crossed.
So go plug all your stuff for everybody if they want to follow you, all that fun, you know.
All right, I'll try to make it quick because I got a lot of them. So you've
No,
got
you're
Facebook,
good. Take your time. You're good.
You got
Go for
Facebook,
it.
Twitter, and Instagram at Unsanctioned Pro. You've got our website, unsanctionedpro.com. That's going to have links to the web store, the ticketing, all of that fun stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, you can search Fueled by Spite on Fight TV, or you can grab the collective bundle. We're included on that. That's going to be streaming Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from the Cuban Club in Tampa, Florida, through Game Changer Wrestling. Also, we've got a web store with deathmatchworldwide.com. We've got 3 shirt designs on there currently as of the recording, but by the time WrestleMania gets here, they're probably going to be like 7 or 8 on there. So keep an eye out on that. What else? Oh, patreon.com/unsanctionedpro. We just launched that. That's a new thing. We're just getting into it. Right now, we're kind of just putting the announcements and the new videos and whatnot on there a couple hours before we put them live to the rest of the world. But we're going to expand the tiers a little bit and flesh some things out. Got a lot of really cool stuff coming up with the Patreon. So if you are interested in subscribing to that, getting a little bit of backstage behind-the-scenes footage, podcast, and additional content, go ahead and give that a check as well.
Awesome. So fun. Again, the road to Tampa, guys. So much wrestling. Love it. Support our favorites. So let me, if you guys are watching this later, let me know in the comments below. Tell me what you're looking forward to the most. Maybe it's your first time watching. Let me know. Tag Derek, tag me. Let us know. Be loud on Twitter if you're watching the show live. I can't wait to watch it. So
tag Sprite. Let them know they're cowards.
Yes.
Clip this, tag Sprite, send me a truck of cans, cowards.
You know what? It'd be funny if somebody watches this podcast or any other podcast that you do, and then somebody just comes up to you and brings you a Sprite. I feel like you're gonna have to take some footage of that too, that of just.
If anybody brings me a can of Sprite at the show, I will give you a free DVD.
See there, guys. See, I would be that person that would just show up with a Sprite for you. So I owe you a Sprite that when I finally come to one of your shows, I'll bring you a Sprite because I'm that person that will do it. I'll bring, I brought drinks to promoters or cookies or whatever it is. So I promise you when I come to one of your shows, and hopefully soon, like I said, I'm going to be fully vaccinated within a couple of weeks. So hopefully soon I can come see some of your shows. I promise you I will bring you a Sprite. So I love it. So, but thank you again for coming on to the podcast. Thanks for everything that we've talked about on Unsanctioned Pro. This has been amazing. Guys, again, go give some love to Derek. Go give some love to all the wrestlers. Make sure you share, subscribe to the No Holds Barred Network, and support independent wrestling, guys. So, but that is it. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.